Okay. What? Oh, the quote here. There are slight indications the most powerful idea takes contributing forces previously used for other ends and therefore has a shaping power, creates new laws in the movement of forces, and does not create new forces. In this lies the ability to determine and order individuals in a new way through their emotions, their feelings. I mean, maybe I should read it again for a third time because this is exactly what happened to me years before I read this book about this exact subject. From the very beginning, the Missouri River goddess Maria Orsic was saying to me, relax. Everything that's ever happened has already happened. We just have to, like she said, we're doing it, but we just have to tune in and it will become fun. It will become magic. Um, you and I have the astral, spiritual abilities to do these things. Let me read it again. We are reading from Miguel Serrano's book, a Nietzsche and the Eternal Return. In talking about this revelation called Eternal Return, and this is what the simulation, how, one of the reasons we came here was to experience something that is openly spoke of as a simulation of eternal return. The matrix is eternally repeating because it is AI perfected simulation so much that it's not technically the definition of simulation, isn't it? It's a holographic universe. And just like you're going to become a ghost or like a astral person after you die, um, it's the, and you're still alive, you're still real. It's just the same right here in the Matrix. You're laying in a bed, but you're really here. Your mind, body, brain is resting on Venus, connected to technology. Uh, so you're here. It's not that you're not real. Some other people might not be here. They may be just projections of AI, what the AI would predict according to the song vibration in their Venusian DNA, right? So at the base foundation is not your religion or any of that. Your beliefs, don't get, try to just hear me in a basic way. Don't get fancy about it. I know, not believe. I'm talking unconscious. Your unconscious beliefs are really what shapes you until this most powerful idea takes contributing forces previously used in others ends and therefore has a shaping power. This powerful idea is the only thing that can shatter your unconscious, programmed, not even not. It's natural. You were born into it. It it doesn't need technological mind control, sophisticated techniques. The vibration was here when you were born and you were plunged into it experientially. And this is how it manifests in your thinking. Is you're like, these are my core beliefs. No, they're not. They're the core beliefs of Western civilization, the vibration you were born into, until you shatter them like this. The most powerful idea, shatter them and create your own. Let me say that. The most powerful idea takes contributing forces previously used for other ends and therefore has a shaping power, creates new laws in the movement of forces, but does not create new forces, right? It's all natural. All of the forces have always been here, always will. They're energy, but they're impersonal. It's not he or she, it's just energy. And they're like, that's the higher power. No, it's not. It's not higher or lower. It's just energy. In this lies the ability to determine and order individuals in a new way through their emotions, right? Determine and order individuals, not other people, yourself. This new idea creates these new laws inside of you. Using the energy that was already there, it creates new laws and it gives you the ability to determine and restructure, reorder your individuality in a brand new way. And this is exactly what Christianity claims to do, and it does not. It does not work. That's why so many people leave Christianity. Go on YouTube or any popular part and put Christian deconversion, and you will be floored. It millions at this point telling the same story of, yeah, I found out this is a myth. And to take a myth literally is fucking retarded. So, back to the book, Miguel Serrano Nietzsche, and the Eternal Return. So leave, brothers and sisters, the door ajar to allow yourself a glimpse into your secret laboratory where you prepare to conceive the Superman or Superwoman. This new being must be created by mutation, right? In the matrix. That man presupposes. By means, okay, check this out. This new being, which must be created by mutation, by the means of a great idea, a revelation that takes contributing forces previously used for other ends like Christianity, Hinduism, whatever, but does not create new forces. It's the same energy, right? Like I said, you thought it was God, it was really you, but it's all the same. You were sincere, right? And it's the same energy. The will to power was also a fundamental principle in the philosophy of Nietzsche, right? The will to power. the choosing of power, accumulation of energy in a given individual, a communicating vessel able to produce a high tone of the soul. This is the instinctual life that must be heard, his ghost that must be interpreted in the great idea that emerges not from the conscious mind, but from the depths. This is true individualism he's teaching here. Only such ideas which appear as revealed are able to express the ghost of instinctive life. Instinctive life with fidelity and are pregnant with the energies of the most high tone of the soul. When they come to pass, when they emerge to the surface, when they have a shaping power and are able to create new laws and determine and order individuals differently, producing formations of sovereignty. Formations of sovereignty. We must reproduce what Nietzsche says about inspiration as he experimented with it, possessed it, inspiration, possessed it when conceiving his Zarathustra and the eternal return. The idea, and this is Nietzsche, the idea of revelation in the sense that something becomes suddenly visible and audible with indescribable certainty and accuracy, which profoundly convulses and upsets one, describes simply the matter of fact. One hears, one does not seek, one takes, one does not ask who gives. A thought suddenly flashes up like lightning. It comes with necessity unhesitatingly. I have never had any choice in the matter. Boom. There is an ecstasy such that the immense strain of it is sometimes relaxed by a flood of tears, along with which one's steps either rush or involuntarily lag alternately. So true. There is the feeling that one is completely out of hand, with the very distinct consciousness of an endless number of fine thrills and quivering to the very toes. There is a depth of happiness in which the painfulest and gloomiest do not operate. They are as conditioned, and they do not operate as antithesis. Right? Let me read it again. There is a depth of happiness in which the painfulest and gloomiest do not operate as antithesis. You know what I mean? They're not there. You see them as conditioned suddenly, as demanded in the sense of necessary shades of color in such an overflow of light. Couldn't be better said. There is an instinct for rhythmic relations which embraces wide areas of forms, length, the need of a wide embracing rhythm. is almost the measure of the force of an inspiration, a sort of counterpart to its pressure and tension. Everything happens quite involuntarily, as if in a tempestuous outburst, a tempestuous outburst of freedom, right? Everything happens quite involuntarily, as if in a tempestuous, like a tempest outburst of freedom, of absoluteness, of power, and even divinity. As if all things came unto one and would fain be similes. Similes. Has anyone at the end of the 19th century any distinct notion of what poets of a stronger age understood by the word inspiration? If one had the smallest vestige of superstition in one, it would hardly be possible to set aside completely the idea that one is the mere incarnation, mouthpiece, or even medium of an almighty power. Right, superstition. We must remember these extraordinary words of Nietzsche. Serrano says, we shall return to them at the end of this study. And we'll get to the room, our next room, and we'll continue tomorrow with this Serrano Nietzsche and the eternal return. All right, and we're going to get to our room, which I said had a lot of reading to do. I hope I'm ready for it. Let me take a quick pause. And I did announce tonight's room is the man room, which is the peace sign up with one Isis rune in the middle. Peace sign upwards with an extra, right? And it says, be a man or be a woman. Be yourself. Be what? Not just who you are, but what you are. Right? What are you? Be a man, man. It doesn't mean be Western masculine. Be a woman doesn't mean be the Western woman, especially the spiritual one that picks and chooses and plays a game with the most important things ever. And hail to our brothers and sisters who don't do that. So the man rune, be a man. It starts out like this. Resurrection of Osiris. Second Hyperborea is below the fixed star. Let me set this up. Second Hyperborea is below the fixed pole star. That's the matrix. Second Hyperborea is below the fixed pole star, immobilized within. The column symbolizes that fact, as well as the scepter and throne of the twin kings, Castor and Pollux. The scepter is represented in the ideogram, the Sig rune. Midgard is built on Mount Paradisha, which means high country. There, the Lord of Law, Dharma, and Dharma Raja, a Polo Wotan Baldur. Man, a Palo Wotan Boldar man, Baldur, I'm sorry. Apollo Wotan Baldur builds his palace, which then becomes a temple. Highness is the title of those who live on the summit of the polar mountain of revelation in the high regions. This is the real history. And he is the architect, builder of the sacred buildings like the central building of Hyperborea, also Egypt, Iran, Greece, the ziggurat, menhirs, dolmens, cromlechs, and pyramids. I might throw it in there, mounds. Every monument of each class is consecrated in magic, as were the castle as were the castle of the mountain, the castle of Frederick II of Hohenstaufen, Mount Seeger, and the Templar castles. And as were the constructions of Hitler. The scepter symbolizes the polar axis of the earth and the dazzling power of the king, the terrible power the pharaohs concentrated between the eyes, in the figure of a snake, and the polar Aryans in the eye of the dragon, called Vril, Varina, Yurna, Vril, the central fire, the fire. The sovereign governs and commands impassible, immobile, like the pole. The sovereign governs and commands impassible, immovable. He can't be moved. He is the immobile motor of creation. The city depends on him and on the daily cult of fire, ritual preserving the health of Poseidon, Avalon, Midgard, Pulsiteland, Basilia, the sacred city of Hyperborea, with the community of initiated heroes and warriors of Wotan Odin. The characteristic signs of the Hyperboreans are the following. The characteristic signs of the Hyperborean Vril people are the following. Immobility, impassibility, unmoved. Interior, calm, serenity, glory, victory. When the king acts, he does so like a terrible lightning bolt, extending the scepter and projecting the Sig rune. Blitzkrieg. These are the signs of the immortals. But to be truly a Hyperborean Aryan, the first birth is not enough. Initiation is necessary, having to go through mystical death to be born a second time. Only then will he have resurrected and be immortal. He will have gone out, escaped by means of a black hole through the black polar sun by Sunya, the void, by the window of Venus, and already to be able to enter and go out at will, to be Chakravartin, Lord of the Chakras, Raja Dharma, the Lord of Dharma. He will be we. He will be capital we. Only in the initiate, only in the Aryan initiation does caste and race coincide with color. Do you hear that? Only in the Aryan initiation does caste and race coincide. They just naturally do with color, with Varna. And thus, the pontifex, the bridge between simultaneous worlds, will be able to be consecrated and merit the formula still preserved in the Rig Veda. Be strong and unwavering, it says, never relent, unyielding as Mount Mary, as the sky itself, like the pole star. Firmly hold your power in your fist. The mountain is firm, the sky is as well, and the king is firm. The Führer of the Aryans also was firm to the end. There, at the dawn of centuries, in the garden of Induna, the Aryan hero, exile pilgrim, the nostalgic of the lost worlds and eternal true love, warrior of Wotan, receives the polar initiation of Amor. The Hyperborean Maga, his Valkyrie, makes this possible. Next to a night bonfire and the Yggdrasil tree, the virgin priestess is transformed into the fire of Agni to thereby impregnate him, resurrect him, make him pregnant with the Son of Man, the Son of Death, the only one who can grant him true immortality. This son is in truth a son-daughter. He is he-she. He is he-she. We have already spoken of the initiation of Amor, love without death, and will return to do so again when we refer to the Grail and the Minnesänger in relation to esotericism of the SS. It is born beyond, in distant lost Hyperborea, like the secret guarded in the memory of the blood and carried with the Grail by the divine ones arrived through Venus. Thule is the magic point of the wedding, where he and she wed. Poseidon, king of the sea, surrounds the sacred continent with a band or a string. He is the bridegroom. He is Wotan. The wedding and death go indissolubly. I had to think about that word for a second. I knew, I intuited what it meant. The wedding and death go indissolubly. They can't be dissolved. United. Indestructibly united. the wedding and death, the magic wedding and mystic death, the magic wedding and mystic death, which make possible the second birth of the Aryan, the initiate astral warrior. This mystery is expressed in runes, in the number of Osiris, who is Wotan. When the last remnants of polar Hyperborea disappeared, the polar Nordics went down to Egypt. The mystery is expressed in runes, in the number of Osiris, who is Wotan. When the last remnants of polar Hyperborea disappeared, the polar Nordics went down to Egypt, built the Sphinx, the pyramids, and founded the first dynasty. Osiris is Wotan, the mystery of Wotan crucified on the Yggdrasil tree. As we have stated, Osiris is Oz, YR, the OS rune, the YR rune, and the IS rune. Osiris, Oz, your is. Oz, you are Isis. That's wild. That's wild. I get from that Oz, you are Isis. Osiris, as stated, 3 runes. Everything is right there in the name, Serrano says. The partition, the separation of he, she, and she, he, and also their recuperation and resurrection. The Oz rune is the rune of Wotan, fourth in the Futark. It says the power of your spirit gives you freedom. YR rune is death. Isis rune is the rune of the bride. In the Osiric myth, the god, he, she, divides mystically and is torn. The rune unity had been lost. The number 3 has been broken. She has gone away to dance outside, affirming herself with the double rune Isis, mother, goddess. But mother of whom? Of no one, because the son Horus is son of As, of Osiris, after partition. The son of man. He's explaining the myth to you. In this way, Horus is the same Osiris risen. Horus is Osiris resurrected. The formula inscribed in the temple of Rames the second says, I am the son who sculpts the head of his father, the face, who gives birth to one who has begotten. Horus is the son of mystic death. YR in reverse between OS rune, Oz, and IS rune, Ice. So he is a product of both, uniquely in reverse, engendered by Osiris. On dividing she, he has been impregnated, pregnant with the son of death, the YR rune, the son of man, the son of resurrection and immortality. Osiris, resurrected, is in truth Horus, the astral, with a mottled head that of Isis. In the process of that initiation, and thanks to the YR rune of the initiation of love and death, right? You get this? This is a whole religion that you've never heard of. All of this is the same as the crucifixion of Wotan on the Yggdrasil tree, on the YR man soul tree, on the your man soul tree. The tree of death, man, resurrection. The peace sign down, the peace sign up, and the six-pointed star. Death, man, resurrection. The mystic death of the hero is produced by an incarnation of the terrestrial earthling man, making possible resurrection in the total man, the absolute man, the death and resurrection. It's kind of what you came here for, our people. Horus is the son of gold, the body of the immortals. Sahu, Vajra, the tunic, the incorruptible substance. As we have already explained, the culmination of the Hyperborean initiation process corresponds with the meeting with the runes, or the awakening of the chakras. You get that? A meeting, a supernatural meeting with the runes, or the awakening of the chakras, thanks to the fire of Vril. Thanks to the fire of Vril, this initiation, meeting, awakening of the chakras happens. The Kundalini coiled around the tree of man, the Yerman soul, Yggdrasil. After 9 nights in mystic death, Wotan is given to awaken his chakras, or to retrieve the 16 runes plus 2, making 18 multiple of 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 9 centers of lost power. This is the grail, stolen by the enemy. You were born into it. The hero has dared to come into this world to rescue it. Together with his she, with the Pisti Sophia, also captured and imprisoned, chained to the root of the terror tree, sleeping and tormented there. Awakening the heart center, chakra anahata, pierced by a lance, the hero is given to die, risking his individuality, his eye, on crossing the black hole through the black sun, the void, death, in the Sahasrara chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, the crown of the king, the top chakra of Hyperborea, Lucifer, which in esoteric Christianity would be the literal crown of thorns. He and she are one. Saham, meaning I am you. I am thou. Thou. And that's so crazy because Maria told me about her and Sigrun, sitting face to face, nose to nose, just going back and forth. I'm you. You're me. I'm you. Saham, my brothers and sisters. Saham. There, the he, she, and she, he, there, they have been wed. On the summit of Mount Meru, on the heights of Paradisha, in the palace of Midgard, in the hall of arms of the heroes and Valkyries in Valhalla, on jumping into the Sunya void, into the black sun, they have become separate, in order to be able to meet again as absolute man and woman. This is jumping in the matrix, plugging in the matrix. But they know they'll meet again they'll meet again as absolute man and absolute woman in the non-existent green thunderbolt, which is my non-existent flower, separated and united forever. Separated and united forever. United in separation. The mantra is Ha Ham Sa. Ham Sa. You are me. Thou art I. You are I. I am you. Inversion of Saham. Ham Sa. The other side of the mirror. Jewish Christianity has learned of this Hyperborean drama from Nordic Iranian Mithricism, reducing it to only 3 days. At the end of the third, resurrection occurs. To deepen the experience of the mystery, the question comes to mind: would not the partition of Eros in the Orphic myth also have been a symbolic description of a first mystic death in an initiation process to come to reach a new life, a renaissance, a resurrection, such as in Osiris, and in Irminsul? Would this not be the means to reach a consciousness and individuation of the monad eternal true self? The latter being the true goal of this sublime adventure of life and death, loss, search, and total war. Do you hear that? Would this not be the means, all of this runes and initiation? Wouldn't this all be to reach a consciousness and individuation, to achieve your individuality? The latter being achieve your individuality with your true self, eternal individuality, that being the true goal of this sublime adventure of life and death, loss, search, and total war. And the ultimate sense of entering the demiurgic projection and his breathing with the voluntary acceptance of an exact number of repetitions of your life, of eternal returns for each single note, and the abysmal risk of losing everything, gambling everything, never again being able to find either she or he in the exodus through simultaneous innumerable worlds, right? Is the risk worth it? What concern, what wave on the immobile water of a fountain? What image of a dream undreamed will have provoked such a drama, this great inner and outer war? In some of these simultaneous worlds where we now find ourselves so below, with what I caught by the rational consciousness, always searching, always yearning for what is lost. There was the imprisonment within the jail of the enemy, and the warrior initiation of a more esoteric Hitlerism, the only power that can break the spellbound fascination of the prisoner, is the man Rune, the peace, three-leg peace sign going up, breaks the spellbound fascination. Hail to Miguel Serrano. True, thank you. And don't forget,
in a world where shadows loom, radiant powers steal our doom. Little Sita, hear our pleas. Together we can break free. Evil whispers in the grave.
wonderful,
We'll rise, we won't fade away. Stand tall, we won't compromise. Strength and vision in our eyes. Bankers dance on the broken dreams, but in our hearts we spark the flames. Freedom calls out from the dark. You will ignite, will leave a mark. Big old little Sita, take the lead. We're fighting for every heart that bleeds. No longer shackled by their chains. Truth is our armor, covered remains. Behind the curtain lies their snare. United we will break their glare. Together we light up the night. In this fight we find our might. Bankers dance on the broken dreams,